In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my journey from making 20K per month all the way up to 138K per month in less than 5 months. I'm going to be breaking down the offer that we were running, the pricing strategy, the content strategy, the funnels, presenting those to the marketplace to where we were acquiring clients hand over fist. We got to a place where we actually had to turn clients away. With all that being said, let's dive into the video. If you're interested in scaling your business past 7 figures, but you can't sit down and watch this entire video, then you don't have any business being here. The key to achieving and maintaining scalability lies in your ability to prioritize nurturing leads as well as building relationships at scale and focusing on exactly what the business needs at any given time above all else. If you cannot figure out what the biggest constraint is of your business and then dedicate most of your time to solving that, then your problem is that you're just never going to scale because you're going to be constantly trapped in that hamster wheel, not knowing whether or not what you're focusing on is actually going to move the needle, and then also then being stuck later down the road because what you have prioritized or focused on didn't necessarily move the needle. I made this mistake a lot. Probably going to talk about this in another video. For now, let's stay focused on the training. I'm going to be guiding you through the 3 bottlenecks that hold most agencies back from reaching profits of 100K per month. I'm also going to share my personal journey detailing exactly how we were able to scale from 20K per month to 138K per month in less than 5 months. This system didn't just work for me, it also worked for my clients. Martha closed 50K of contracts. Davidson closed over 100K within 3 months. Luke from Dextech 2x'd his agency from 25K per month to 50K per month. He's actually now at 75K per month. And also this process worked for me. I was living in a shitty basement apartment in Ottawa. I won't get too much into it, but now I live in Medellin. I've been able to travel the world, all thanks to the work that I had put in and the system that I had built. This training is for you if you already have a proven way of producing client results, because it's very hard to market something if you don't have proof of the mechanism. Like if you can't sit down and actually prove how your system worked, how you produce client results, well, you're going to have a much harder time marketing. In fact, we don't even work with folks who can't prove the results that they were able to achieve. Second is you have a desire to scale, but can't, or you feel lost in all the available information. I mean, there's so much info available on the internet. You could spend your entire day watching videos on YouTube about how to scale your business. Your current model is hard to scale given the fact that the bigger you scale, the more complex it becomes. I was reading a saying from Hormozi recently. If you grow your business without solving your problems, you just scale your problem. And that results in less profit, which means you have less room for activities. The more annoying it becomes for you to run the organization. If you're still stuck having to solve all the problems, this training's for you. You know how to scale, but somehow month after month, quarter after quarter, you're still stuck in the same position, making enough to feel good about yourself, but not enough to really feel proud and fulfilled. You lack proper accountability because you have no A+ talent in your team to keep you on your A game, or an outside firm holding you accountable, helping you focus on the main things. You can't keep clients past 90 days. Even if you can, you haven't figured out how to start charging more. Even when you tried solving other problems, for example, you decided, yeah, let's add appointment setting. Let's build a call center. I mean, it created so much complexity. It's not even worth it anymore. The money's not even worth it because you're not keeping it up. So the goal of my training here is to give you the model as well as the offer that allowed me to experience true freedom, allowed me to grow from 0 to 30K per month to 138K per month in 5 months. So when you're stuck between 30 to 50K per month, like I was back in 2021, it's a mixed bag of feelings and realizations. First off, kind of proud because you're making in a month what you used to earn in a year, but there's still this nagging feeling that something's missing. You start thinking that you could do better. Managing a business that's bringing in a few $100,000 a year is a lot, but it's overwhelming, makes you feel how on other worth you ever been able to hit like 6 figures a month. You see this zombie wave of 16 and 17-year-olds entering the market, making 100 to 200K per month with services that aren't any better or complex than yours. In fact, they as a rule are far less experienced, raking in a year what you're making in a year or just a week. You're left wondering, what does this kid that hasn't even graduated 12th grade biology know that I don't? Now, you've got this sense of financial freedom or some semblance of stability, but at the same time, feeling change your business and stuck with just a few clients. It's like you're free, but not really. And you're having to solve all the problems and put out all the fires. To get out of this situation, you only need to be able to answer one question well. How do I turn strangers into people who like, like, trust, respect my company as quickly as possible. Now, if you can't answer that question, as Einstein said, if you can't explain something simply, you just don't understand it well enough. And this is why I invented the conversion accelerator formula. It's the exact formula that increases the velocity to have in our sales process, and it's going to make you as well as your clients very rich once you implement it. If you're smart, you probably realize that, oh man, I'm already working 14 hours a day, working 18 hours a day. Do you really feel like that's going to make much of a difference? You've probably come to the same realization that I have. And that is not. So let me break down the model that helped me 7x my business in 4 months and how you can leverage it. Back in 2020, this is during COVID, we were charging anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 a month monthly retainers. And we were doing ads and appointment setting. So we had a small call center team that was calling and converting the leads. The problem was that everybody in our market was offering ads plus appointment setting. I'd constantly get on the phone with potential clients and they'd say, oh, you're doing that? Well, buddy down the street is offering it for $300 to $700 a month. And I'm sitting there wondering, okay, but the problem is he's also stuck here on this same cycle, but he's actually in a worse position because he's charging less. If I'm being honest, at that time that we were generating for our realtor clients were average. We weren't able to keep them on. Our average retention was 5 months, which anything less than a year is low. We had low retention and we couldn't afford to acquire better clients. Because of that, we felt this constant downward pricing pressure from the market demanding that we reduce our prices. The good news is that we went the other way on it and instead decided that, well, let's just offer more value. We started to really focus in and hone in on refining the appointment setting process to deliver exceptional leads. I'm going to get to exactly how we did this. It allowed us to increase our price. Eventually, we got to a point where we understood, hey, we can actually charge a premium for this because of how dialed in the service delivery is. We'd also package this up in a way that it was exactly what the market needed at the right time. So because of that, we were able to charge a much higher price because we had an offer that the market cared about. We were then able to hire and delegate to A players because we had enough money in the bank to be able to reinvest back in the business. We were able to deliver exceptional results to our clients, bringing our monthly churn down to 2.2%, which to this day, outside of Alex Hormozi, I haven't seen anybody in the agency game with better numbers that are actually willing to show me their numbers. And because we were able to deliver great results for them, we were able to increase our attention paid to marketing, which then self-perpetuated into this upward spiral flywheel. So when it comes to delivery, I am going to talk a little bit about the core fundamentals. The first piece of this is creating a leveraged offer. Well, it means that we need to set our offer up in a way that it gives us a lever to be able to lift heavy weights without using our bare hands. How do we work smarter instead of harder? I don't know if you've ever watched the first Pirates of the Caribbean, but when Orlando Bloom is trying to break Jack Sparrow out of jail, the jail cell is stuck, but they don't have a key. The dog ran off with the keys. So what they've done, they used a lever to be able to break open the gate. It's with that same principle that you can lift anything that's heavy enough in the world with a long enough lever. So how is it that we apply that to our offer? Well, first, let's look at how not to succeed. There's 3 main bottlenecks that you as an agency owner need to know to be able to solve, be able to scale, which is not letting yourself become commoditized or in your delivery and just offering an average service. Because of that, low pricing power and lack of high profits, even at scale, also solving exceptional fulfillment and retention. What is at the core of each of these, right? Well, Charlie Munger said, always go to the most fundamental level. So taking each one of these to their nth degree, how is it that we go as far as possible on each of these? Well, the traditional sales model provides you with a very simple but painstaking process. I remember I was part of Apex, which is Ryan Stewman's mastermind back in 2022. And so many entrepreneurs failed at running paid ads. Like, here is a room of 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs purely from organic acquisition, which was insane. And even Ryan Stewman himself tried and couldn't make it work. Now, the problem is in the sales process. If you just run paid ads, you'll eventually acquire a client. But the question is how profitable can you run those ads? This gives you enough to be an average entrepreneur, but not a superstar or legendary like Hormozi, Steve Jobs, or whatever. When I think back about our most successful clients, they all have one thing in common. It was their ability to nurture, build, and sustain relationships over time. For me personally, I look up to the top 0.1% in an industry, and they're all willing to do what the others are not capable of doing. So if you're all doing basic sales process of add, book a sales call, demo follow-up process, salesperson becomes a client onboarding, etc. Well, I encourage you to take a long and hard look in the mirror, because the number of marketing agencies in the United States grows by 17% every year, which means that this is going to become more and more expensive. As your competition increases, more people are going to start running ads to acquire clients. The market as well is just going to become more and more sophisticated over time. Imagine fishing at a pond. There's 100 people that go to that pond every day trying to fish as many fish as possible. Eventually, they're going to run out of fish. And this is shown by the law of diminishing returns. It's like, sure, the first day, everybody's going to catch a bunch of fish. Second day, still catch a bunch of fish. Third day, it's going to start to level off as more people start to use that pond. And then eventually the pond is going to start running out of fish. So here's a process of how it is that we scaled our lead gen and had 77% show up rates on our sales call. The reason why we were able to accomplish this is the law of reciprocity. More on that later. This came down to us actually building out a meme page. This was the meme page that one of our partners had built. It was at about 142K when we were using it, but as in time it's increased. You can see the meme page is following me. Now, this was the funnel that we had built. The content itself. Initially, we saw social media post/video or ad. We'd funnel them to Discord community. They'd enter that email address. They'd be welcome to the community. They'd be invited to roundtable events. Continue to nurture them with content through the meme page. Then eventually, we would make an offer to the community through an organic post about our listing program. The offer itself was like, funny enough, it was pretty basic. It just happened to be that everybody in the market needed listings at that time. So we were able to book appointments like hotcakes from this funnel. They entered in their information and then they'd either schedule a call. And then if they don't, then they would just see more content and continue to be nurtured. A lot of the old way of lead gen and sales is just people running ads, hire VAs to manage their fulfillment, manage the appointment setting, managing really everything in their business. In essence, most agencies are really just arbitraging the time of VAs. So a big reason why Genghis Khan was so successful is that he would hire the most skilled people to do the jobs of his empire, regardless of background. For example, the person that we had managing this page, this is their full time. Like, this is one of our partners. It was all he did every day. And he was an A player at content and writing memes. Now imagine the flip side of that is you're the president of the United States and you have to manage a DMV in addition to being the president of the United States while also overseeing the operations of a military base in Japan. How would that be possible? Do you think that's a scalable solution? Of course not. So how do you deliver this in a way that's scalable? There's really three kinds of mechanism. There's done for you, which can be broken out into customized, done for you, productized, done for you, done with you, or do it yourself. And say, for example, on one side of the coin, you have infinite leverage because you're selling a do-it-yourself product. You don't need to fulfill it. It really just takes time or accountability of coaches to be able to integrate and fulfill. Then there is the slightly less leveraged form of delivery through consulting, which is one-on-one consulting, group consulting, productized growth consulting, productized done for you, etc. The way that I was able to figure out how to structure my offer, I was seeing a lot of 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs building out businesses through Apex that were operating on this old way of sales and fulfillment. They didn't really understand how to actually build out their offer in a way that was leveraged. Once I understood how to fulfill and how to break out my offer in a way that was not just commanded a premium, but was also leveraged, it was the same funnel that realtors would take out loans just to work with us. I'll share with you the exact solution that we offered so you can copy and implement it in your niche and vertical at the end of this call. But once I was able to crack the fulfillment and also package it in a way that the market really wanted and was digestible for the client that excited them, it was like pouring gas on a small fire. Increased the size of that fire by 7 times. We had about 80% profit margins on this while we were adding about 10 to 50 new high ticket clients per month. Because of the content and just how much of a community that we had built, it allowed me to attract the top 1% of the industry and retain them. I'm going to be breaking down the exact retention/community model that Jim launched used to be able to build a MRR of 1.6 million per month with less than 1% churn. Oftentimes, any lead gen agency is paying for is they're essentially paying for clients. And a lot of companies, right, they'll offer one product or service to help them solve this problem. But if you're just selling the leads, then you're not helping them solve the entire solution. So we want to be able to help them build and have the infrastructure to be able to solve that entire gap. The average agency follows this tried and true, tired old sales process. I touched on this a little bit, but if you don't have this in place, then prospects are going to compare you with everybody else. The market is going to force you to work for free or offer some ridiculous guarantee to sign a deal. Now, if you're tired of your outreach or marketing efforts not generating enough results or getting worse month after month, then I'm going to walk you through the leveraged offer. It goes back to this point of identifying which fulfillment mechanisms are going to help you bridge the entire gap for the client. Like we have one client where they were selling everything. They were selling SEO, they were selling appointment setting, they were selling Facebook ads, Google ads, influencer marketing, everything. They were charging like $700 to $1,000 a month, but they were very much stuck at around 10K because they didn't understand which of these required the appropriate fulfillment mechanism for them to be able to fulfill. As far as the leveraged offer is concerned, and this was back in 2021 and 2022, everybody had been saying about how competitive the market had gone. A lot of the online entrepreneurs that I talked to saw this trend happening everywhere. And it makes sense because every year in the United States, 17% new marketing agencies that enter in the market. Now, many people offering the same kind of services. And because of this, there is less margin because everybody's competing on price. Now imagine everybody you knew became a real estate agent, including yourself. How difficult would it be for you to find clients in your immediate circle? This is a lot of what's happening in the marketplace today. How do you expect to achieve legendary results when doing the same strategy and process that everybody else is doing? Now, before experiencing the impact of this offer that I'm about to share with you, I was having to chase prospects, tell my clients to chase prospects, negotiate on price, doing 10 sales calls, only close one new client drives people crazy. It was driving me and my clients crazy. There has to be a better way. So how do we make your offer / service more attractive? When I look back on selling my agency, the multiple that I got on it, we had reduced our monthly return to 2.6%. How do we do this? Well, once upon a time, our clients were giving us feedback that they were having to handle certain objections from the leads and expected our team to be able to qualify them. So I thought, okay, well, what if we built a process that handled every single objection? The concept is not new. I mean, it exists in medicine as a way of anticipating every possible reason why something could fail and then being able to solve all of those gaps. Here's a worksheet that we walk our clients through to be able to help them create their offer, avoiding the failure mechanisms of everything that could potentially go wrong as part of the acquisition flywheel. We solve the market segment, vertical selection, offer creation, lead generation / audience building, improving lead quality, sales, and then also fulfillment. When somebody wants to build their dream business, what this pre-mortem lets us do is we solve their journey for them and let them play with house money. For example, if there are 10 ingredients of the cake, why would we only want to bake a cake with 7 or 8 ingredients? This is the same way casinos are rigged. They stack the deck in their favor by optimizing for all the variables. We have a lead that comes in through one of our meme funnels, through a long form post, engages, click to join community, joins the community, lead nurture with roundtables, etc. This is the exact funnel that we had used, the funnel that you could use as well to generate the leads, convert them, as well as offer them an asset. Probably about challenges and constraints, we offer a book or content that helps them solve their problem, and then we offer an implementation call. The first thing that we do is we just offer them assets. We give them free stuff. This is based on the law of reciprocity. And the more free stuff that we give people, the more that they are going to want to give something back in return to us. It builds a lot of warmth throughout the sales process because it builds trust and it helps them solve their problem. Like it's not just a matter of giving them free stuff for the sake of giving them free stuff. It's free stuff that they actually value and want. Why is this important? Well, you get on calls and everybody wants you to walk this through with them. You stop having to give discounts and no longer viewed as a commodity. Clients get lasting results faster since you help them solve every obstacle. The best part is you're going to be able to do this for you and your clients as well. Sounds like a lot of work. I mean, the good news is there's a simple answer. It's the acquisition flywheel. There's a leveraged way of building a business that includes done for you work and done with you consulting. This way of delivering reduces both the time and infinitely increases profitability of your marketing. Since you can build the flywheel marketing machine and reduce the number of issues or tickets inside of your business, this creates immense value for the business. And value is one of the main things that buyers of businesses look at. So when we did 140K per month, I had a team of 6 people who oversaw 20 setters, and this took us 7 to 10 days to build a flywheel machine and only 5 hours per week of work to maintain it. The old way of SMMA is just basic book a call funnels without anything else. Now, the new way is leads are a commodity. Client acquisition or converting somebody into a client, this is the Argentinian steak from the steakhouse. For example, the core principle of this leveraged offer, instead of offering one product or service, we solve the whole gap for the client, and that lets us charge infinitely more for the product or service. You could buy a kilo of ribeye for 30, 40 bucks, but you could go to a butcher and buy that steak. But then you need to cut it up, you need to cook it, you need to season it, you need to do all the front-end work involved with actually making the steak. Now, the Argentinian steakhouse does all of that for you. They take take the steak, they cook it, they season it, they present it to you on a silver platter. Literally, it's heated on said silver platter so it stays warm for you as you eat it. It solves the entire gap end to end. Here is what we had done in December of 2021. Now, here was our revenue from January, February, and March of the following months. After about 5 months of implementing this principle, everything just fell into place in January of 2022. Not just that, but this same process we implemented for our clients and our service delivery, 50% of the leads that we sent our customers were qualified. That's leads that they reported back to us were qualified, which is insane. Just raw leads. This is the leverage that a great offer gives you. Say, for example, if you had 50% of the leads that you were receiving were qualified, what percentage of those leads do you think you could convert? And so going back to the steakhouse analogy, by solving more of the gap, it gives you leverage pricing. I mean, the problem with not having this is essentially you quit your 9 to 5 for this dream of entrepreneurial freedom, but instead of working 40 hours a week, you're now working 60 to 80 hours a week, making less money. Is that what you signed up for? That's not what I signed up for. So oftentimes I see this with clients, keep prices too low for too long. And this makes it so that fulfillment inevitably breaks. I see this all the time with our clients that are between 50 to 100K, 150K per month is usually when their fulfillment starts to break. Like we had one client where they were at 30K per month of profit. They were at about 120K per month in revenue. After deploying a lot of our principles within that business, we increased our profit to 80K per month. Insane, right? So oftentimes we just trade our job for what ends up being a high-paying job. And so that leaves you having to solve all the problems in your team of VAs, glorified VAs, that still every problem in the business requires you to solve it. And so by solving more of the gap and by being able to identify which fulfillment mechanism we are using from the leverage scale model of delivery, that lets us solve the entire gap, which lets us command a higher price. That lets us hire and build a team of A players. Because for example, I remember in 2020, we were at like 40K to 50K per month, but I reduced the prices and that put us back down to 15 to 20K per month. One of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made in my career, even though I decided that, yeah, let's deliver more value, but I wanted to get the offer to a point where it was an offer that they couldn't refuse. The sales process was easy because of how little we were charging and how much value we were giving. But the problem was I was stuck back in this 9 to 9 high paying job, not really, that I built for myself. So by being able to solve the entire gap, this principle is so effective. Your clients will gladly pay it and they will thank you forever for having changed their lives. It's not based on the time and effort of you and your team. So what you don't want to do, and just to drive this point home, right, is that most agencies just do one of these things: Facebook ads, cold email, content production, or a sales agency, fulfillment, whatever. But they're missing a key element. If you're just doing one of these things, you're just selling vanilla. You're just selling the raw steak. You're not selling the Argentinian steakhouse. And the biggest mistake that I see agencies making is their lead nurture process isn't dialed in, nor is the lead nurture process dialed in for them or their clients. Oftentimes, right, if you are operating on this model, making over $1 million a month is impossible until you apply the leveraged offer as well as the leveraged pricing principles that I just shared. If you have one media buyer generating 100 leads per month at $15 a lead, you're probably charging $1,500 a month plus the $1,500 in ad spend. Client closes 1% of those leads. This was in our industry on average, according to the National Association of Realtors. Average home price, $430,000, 2.5% is the average commission. That means that 10.75K is the average. That means there's a potential revenue of $32,250 in 90 days of implementing this system due to the sales cycle. That represents a $129K in yearly revenue if the system is used properly. Now, if we assume a 33% probability of success, that means that the yearly potential actually just represents a third of that, which is $42.5K. So if the client is being charged $36,000 a year to make 1.1x, how does somebody expect to build a business with this model and be able to scale this business? This is going to take constant work to fulfill and sell due to the nature of the model and how tight the margins are. Most agencies churn at greater than 10% per month, which is crazy. So if you have a senior media buyer costing you 2.5K per month, managing 10 accounts, that's 16.7% of the margin right there to one person. Now, if we're targeting 25% of the margin to fulfill, then how do we expect to scale this model? Not to mention one account per month is dropping off within a year. All these clients will churn. This is a shit show. Like the professional way of me saying that is full of operational drag, but it fucking sucks. So the new way of structuring and packaging your offer is on our new offer, where we primarily build outbound systems for realtors to find and close listings. We have one setter generating 4 meetings per month from 150 outreach per day, 12% closing rate, which is one new listing every 2 months. If you're closing one listing every 2 months, 50% probability outcome, that means that we're looking at 50,000 a year in revenue. Now, we used to charge 10% of this upfront plus performance. So about $5,000 on average. We charge anywhere from 3,500 to 5,000 based on the setup, but most of the setups are at 5K plus $600 per show. Now, with this model, because it was performance based and there was a small setup, we were able to reduce our churn to 2.6%, which means that out of 100 clients, we would lose 5 every 2 months. Pretty good. Now, because we helped them solve the whole gap, we solved the lead gen problem. We also solved the lead nurture problem, as well as helping them convert. We are able to charge this much for the service. With premium pricing, you can afford to hire A players to come up and build your business with a strategy and execute for your clients. How much easier would that make managing the company? Go from wearing all the hats and putting out all the fires to being an executive, working on your business and leading. All the realtors, clients that we had that were making $1 million a year mastered delegating tasks to their team. What happened when I started charging more, I was able to onboard a systems integrator, salesperson, head of operations, account managers, as well as head of customer success. Now, can you imagine having access to this kind of talent? How easy would that make your life? Now, charging high ticket scales exponentially the amount of leverage you have access to and frees you up from having to do anything in your company. Just to drive this point home of the lead nurture and being able to solve more of the gap, Apex was a mastermind that I was in, and they had this extremely dialed in. Ryan Stewman charges $50K per year for his mastermind. This gives him a massive ability to reinvest in the best people to manage his community, hire the best coaches, marketers, and leadership team. He has a Facebook group called Sales Talk with Sales Pros, which serves as a lead nurture playground. This group produces almost 8 figures per year alone. Just by executing this lead nurture mechanism and cash outlay, people would see insane results. Because of the cash outlay that they invested, they were a lot more committed to the process as well as being just a higher quality client in general. So it was fundamentally an info product plus community that people would have to execute it on their own, which is insane. Their lead gen wasn't that great. It was literally just from pure organic social. They would see insane results after 90 to 180 days of lead nurture because they didn't have direct inflow of leads and they were just focusing on the lead nurture. They would get insane results. I'd consistently see people adding $1 million a year to their business just by implementing their lead nurture mechanism extremely well. So because they have over 100K people that they can continuously sell to, they built an audience that they can just continue to nurture those leads and consistently bring in 8 figures with this mechanism. And their clients would consistently achieve similar results, like going from mid 6 figures to 8 figures with the same process. So his Facebook group is actually used by a case study at Facebook because it's one of the biggest business Facebook groups on the entire platform. Even the business owners that can seem really successful and making money can be stuck in this cycle of the slavery flywheel or quicksand flywheel, as we call it. You feel the anxiety in your shoulders, that fire in your belly to run twice as fast just to stay in the same place, doing outbound of lead gen to replace old clients. When you feel like you're about to make more this month, you lose another client and you find yourself back at square one. See, this problem of not delivering results is due to 2 things that the model solves: lack of A players who are the best at fulfillment and working with bad clients. So here's how the acquisition flywheels allows you to scale inevitably and sustainably. It allows you to build an offer that lets you collect cash to be able to reinvest back in the business to acquire more clients and hire the best talent to give your clients the best results, to deliver the best case studies, and so on and so forth. So your obligation is to build the acquisition flywheel so your client is also accountable for success or failure. This will repel the clients who don't want to put in the work and who see success as work. It's going to help you collect insane profits and create the resources to recruit and retain A players. This is exactly how Jim Launch had built their business, is that they sold an infrastructure offer for paid ads, sales, lead nurture, solving the whole gap for them and their clients, helps the clients solve what they really care about, solve for every reason why the client might not succeed. That allowed them to charge $16K, deliver exceptional results at less than 1% churn, be able to afford marketing that leads to higher intent leads and more results. Because they charged $16K on the front end, they would downsell a community offer of $3.2K per month. And after they had already seen such insane results on the front end, that $3.2K per month, what do you think would happen when it was time to downsell? They buy every time. No matter how good we are at acquiring high ticket clients on the front end, if you can't retain them, you'll never build your dream business. So let's take the Apex funnel. Solves the most important piece of the puzzle, lead nurture. But we still have another obstacle, which is the 90 to 180 days it takes to see results. So the problem, as I touched on before, was lead generation. In Apex, they had 125 business owners last time I checked, paying $5,000 a month. This is $625K per month. 290 business owners paying him $1,000 per month. This is $299,000 per month. month, and they had 2,000 business owners paying him 500 per month, which is a million per month, which is a 1.924 $1 million business per month. This will never die because he's already built an audience that he can just continue to nurture and continue building that audience. Now, guys, this is how it is that we make our clients wealthy. If we're not helping them build an audience through the leads that we're generating for them, and I don't really know what we're doing. His funnel was organic long form content, funnel that to a Facebook group, do it yourself, lead nurture offer. It tracks the best clients who are willing to do the work while commanding a higher price. That'll let them hire superstar talent and guest speakers, which would deliver results and continuous value. And because of that, he was able to get referrals, reinforces the power of the community, which then refers more high caliber folks to be able to build his fulfillment and then send the leads to this do-it-yourself lead nurture offer. What's crazy about Apex is that it was mostly $50K for do-it-yourself. Imagine how much you can charge done with you or done for you fulfillment mechanisms. Now, they built a massive business because they continue to provide value through their community. The price serves as a moat to keep the caliber of people that they can bring in high. We're going to take, building back on the point of the leveraged offer is we're going to take the best of both worlds of done with you and do it yourself. The reality is that a lot of bigger clients provide to handle things internally as opposed to relying on an external agency. The smartest entrepreneurs themselves hire an agency, then they gradually take over by building their own team and systems based on the strategies provided by the agency. This is what we're doing for our clients. When there are more opportunities to solve problems, we can step in and fill the gap to increase the leverage that we have on pricing to make more money. Some may argue that clients prefer done-for-you services, and that's okay. You can cater to this need by charging $10K per month or more plus a performance fee. But how is it that we get the kind of results to build a business like Apex, but also review the downside of their funnel, which is the 90 to 180 days to see results. So let's look at Gym Launch again. So there's two principles, guys, that I want you to take with you for the rest of your life. People buy more when they bought the thing that gave them more value. This is how Apex keeps people paying $50,000 a year per more, is because they constantly have entrepreneurs that go from mid six figures to eight figures when they paid like 10K per month. So obviously they're going to buy the upsell of 50K per year. So price anchoring is a concept in psychology where the first price presented to somebody, the anchor influences their perception of price. For example, if you see a shirt priced at $100 and now it's on sale for $50, the original price serves at that price anchor. So this makes the sale price of $50 seem like a much bigger deal, even if $50 is the average price for a shirt of that kind. This happened recently where we had a client that paid 10K initially, and then we downsold them on a 2K per month reoccurring after because we had made them over 15 times their return on investment. The price anchor affects how we perceive the value and the reasonableness of the sales price. So the book Influence also talks about this of the rejection and then rebuttal principle, where it's like we offer initial price that we know is going to get rejected, and then we come back with a lower price that seems a lot more reasonable. Gym Launch had a front-end program of $16,000, could get results for the clients in their first week of signing up. Why? They solved the whole gap. They had the best performing ads. They had the best performing script for sales. They had the best products and programs to sell in gyms, the best pricing model. They had all the data from the gym they worked with, which made them deliver more value than what the prospect was being charged for. By offering clients the lead nurture, in addition to the lead gen machine, we're able to give them exponentially reduce the cost per lead while increasing their conversion rates, make their campaigns infinitely more profitable. By setting up your offer this way, the other benefit is that you're going to be involved in setting up their teams, their systems, their strategies, building up their growth infrastructure. Down the line, this can lead to consulting deals lasting 6 to 12 months, partnerships, even opportunity to gain equity in these companies. This is the key to building lasting wealth for us as well as our clients. Is the whole principle of this game is leverage. So if we're able to share a percentage of the upside, we are creating leverage for ourselves as well as our clients. How awesome is that? This strategy is the key to building a business that brings in $1 million a month, more even per week, without the overwhelming you or eating up most of your valuable asset that God on this green earth has given us, time. In short, the secret to scaling happily lies in choosing the right clients for your retention offers and how you deliver your services, not to mention what AI will do with this. So this is the acquisition flywheel: market segmentation, vertical, offer design, building an audience, maintaining and nurture that audience, converting them, and then fulfilling. By adding in the leveraged offer and leveraged form of fulfillment, we're going to be able to circumvent that 90 to 180 day timeline to create immediate results for both our clients as well as our sales. Paid ads are the easiest way to do this and get this offer in front of thousands of people. Hormozi is the analogy of a money printer. If we could build a machine that would put in $1, $3 out, how valuable is that machine? Now, the problem with the old way is that they spend about $10,000 per month on testing new creative without changing the strategy or who to build trust with the audience. Some creators work better, Others don't. However, this trend over time, as the market becomes competitive, is the same. It's like riding a roller coaster when you know the ride is going to come to an end. This is the old way of building this tried and tired sales process. Whereas this is a tried and true method that we and our clients are using to get anywhere from 7 to 23x returns on our campaigns, which is we have organic plus ads, have these leads opt in, we send them to an email drip and give them continued value within a Facebook group follow up and nurture. Then we funnel them to the sales process where we book them through to a call. We also have the option to book them through to a call just for those folks that are already ready. Only 3% of a market at any given time is ready to buy. The other 90% of a market is not ready to buy at this present time. So how is it that we can capture that rest of the 97% of the market? That is the key. So implementation of this. Growth is the rate at which we both learn new information and the rate at which it's applied. This is going to be controversial, but the reason why the top 0.1% are the 0.1% is just their speed of execution and well as they've done the work. And so because they continue to do the work, their efforts continue to compound and grow over time. Someone that is smart acquires knowledge and skills faster and changes behavior faster than the rest of the market. I mean, I have one friend that's been stuck at 40 to 60K per month for the last 3 years. And whenever I give him feedback, he rejects it. He does not reinvest in himself or his business. His stubbornness keeps him plateaued at 40 to 60K per month because he refuses to change. The market moves fast, which is why the top 0.1% of an industry captures the most market share. The pace at which they achieve their goals is because of their pace of learning as well as their pace of execution. This is a graph I got from Harvard Business Review, which talks about how the state of best practice, which is what is the maximum output that we can get for the lowest amount of cost, from the Harvard Business Review Top 10 on Strategy. Great book. One of my faves. Say, for example, it takes $10 to make this cup, but we can sell this cup at $20. Say, for example, if we decide to take shortcuts in the production process, reduce the quality of it, then maybe we could reduce the cost to $5. But now we also can't sell the cup for $20 anymore because it's a lower quality. So we can only sell it for $10. That's the same principle here. So the only time that you can simultaneously increase output and reduce costs, if you're far behind the 8 ball and you've adapted to becoming closer to best practice, or you've introduced new technology that makes your production process a lot more efficient. So why do I share this? Well, it's because if you're not using this strategy, you are falling behind to the rest of the SMMA market, who are going to be able to collect higher profits as well as deliver those results at a lower cost because of this principle. You have two choices. You can take this knowledge and run with it, or if you want me to design your 6-month to 100K per month profit implementation plan, design and give you a walkthrough of our personalized and acquisition flywheel infrastructure that's specific to your business, and you want to create a higher priced premium offer at 15K, as well as design your acquisition flywheel from 50 to 100 calls per week, then walk you through our flywheel machine offer pricing model and walk you through our leverage retention model where 50% of revenue is generated from monthly recurring revenue. We can go through that audit together. Now, it's not for everyone. In fact, 35% of the people that book these calls are automatically canceled due to not being qualified. You need to have an existing book of business. You need to have proof of being able to deliver your clients' results. 50% of people don't get past our discovery and vetting process, but I will give you access to our Facebook community. These materials will get to the point where you're qualified to experience your own transformation with the acquisition flywheel of going from 20K per month to 138K per month. If you want an implementation call, go ahead and fill out the application and pick a slot that works for you. And only one call per user can be scheduled. So if you miss it, fortunately, we are going to blacklist you and we won't give you another opportunity. It's just, we get a lot of these queries. So we do want to be selective of the folks that we want to work with, selective of the folks that we work with, because we only want to work on the projects that we want to work on in the industries to be able to deliver some incredible case studies for folks. That being said, go ahead, click the link, book a call. If not, then take this with you. If you want access to the document as well as the resources that we shared here, then go ahead, click the link below for the Facebook group, and you can go ahead and join there and chat to you soon.